just like the weird animal hybrids.
He's the guy.
No one cares that Elijah Wood was the guy, even though
He's
he wasn't
the guy.
the guy.
And then he gets like KO'd or whatever.
The guy,
He's like, okay, you're the guy again.
And then
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
hello.
Hello.
It's your boys.
We're back.
Connor and Matt.
Another episode. Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Your host, Connor. Matthew.
Connor O'Neill, Matt. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome
Happy,
back.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Happy day that you're listening to the happy podcast day.
Happy podcast
whatever
day.
day that is for you.
Every day is podcast day.
As of recording this podcast, we just released
Episode 106.
106, which is after this is 107. So that's how numbers work.
Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire. Heck yeah, brother.
Yeah. So, welcome back. This is going to be a first episode of Season 2 of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, if you want to call it Season 2, where we're bringing back a favorite of ours, which is tier listing.
Well, it is and it isn't. It's kind of a mix because there'll be a tier list, but I don't think it'll take up the majority of the episode like our average. This is also our first tier list with
The new
video,
setup on the
with video
and stuff like
content,
that.
so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see how it ends up kind of working. So it's kind of a mix. Yeah, we actually haven't really deep dove into this topic before, which is
We've
just
mentioned it here and there. but
Disney in general. But now we're going
subgenre into Disney?
subgenre into Disney. So we're gonna start. Let's just preface. We're gonna start with Pixar.
Yeah. Disney Pixar films.
Depending on how long this takes, we may jump down the line of favorite Disney films in general because honestly, there's too many films to make a tier list of.
Agreed.
So we're not going to do that. So we can mention some of our favorites.
Yeah.
And potentially, what were you calling them, Matt? Like films that only you...
Underrated, childhood, forgotten films, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so maybe some mentions, and then you guys can let us know by joining our Discord or in the YouTube comment section below some of your forgotten, unknown, underground films that you watched when you were younger. But yeah, so to make things easy, we're going to do... Oh, I can see my mouse. Woo! Okay.
For those who ain't watching, we are going to be doing a tier list of Pixar movies.
Yes.
And it's going to be pre-2010, so 2010 included.
They made a lot of movies after 2010. We found out just as we
Basically
were
one a year.
as we were preparing this.
Yeah. So we'll discuss all of the Pixar movies that came out before 2010, which was Toy Story, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3.
Which we have seen more. It's just we wanted to make a cutoff point because there are some films each of us have not seen. So
Exactly.
it just felt fair to be like, most of these we would have seen.
Yeah,
as
we'll
kids.
also briefly talk about the ones that came out post-2010
Maybe
that
we
we
enjoyed,
really enjoyed. So without further ado, let's start with... We'll go in order of when they released. Let's
to the
start
tier
with
list.
Toy Story.
Okay, Toy Story.
For
Wow, we're
those
starting off.
who are
Oh, wait,
not
we're going
watching-
in order, you're saying.
Order of release.
I see.
For those who are not watching and only listening, the way the tier list is going to work is we have D, C, B, A, and S. S being the toppest, the toppiest
The toppiest,
of the
yes,
tier.
correct. And then we have a tier made up for all the ones after.
Also, it's late at night and I'm drinking coffee, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so we're starting with Toy Story. I think this is a pretty solid movie.
A.
Tough to give an S right off the rip, so I agree with A. Wow, and still another one coming. So they say.
Yeah, Toy Story 5 is in the works.
So I mean,
It's 4 Toy Story movies, and you have the Lightyear
and when did this one come out?
1995? November 22nd, 1995.
Wow. I don't know if you've watched Toy Story 1 recently.
I have.
Holds up well.
It honestly, it does. It's actually genuinely surprising how well Toy Story
It
has
kind
held
of
up.
gives that Ghibli vibe in terms of like it's timeless. Like no matter how
Yeah.
old it is, like you're watching like Like, for example, if you watch something like Spirited Away, you watch it now, you could tell someone it came out last year and you would believe it. Like, that's how good the quality is.
I wouldn't say it's that good a quality, but you can definitely see that the animation holds up. I think when you compare it like Toy Story,
It's because 3D animation has come so
agreed.
far.
Yeah, exactly right.
But still, to believe that it came out 1995, that's wild.
That is almost 30 years ago.
That is 30 years ago, friend.
That's 29 years
You know,
ago.
oh, it's 29 years ago, which is basically
2024.
30 years
Basically
ago.
30 years.
All right. Second.
But yeah, moving on from Toy Story, A Bug's Life.
This is gonna be a C for me.
See,
Just never really liked it as a kid.
we're in A Bug's Life fan, eh? Were you more of a what was the one that came out around the time? Not Ant Bully. Was it Ant Bully? Ants. No.
I did
Might have
see
been
ants a
Ants.
few times.
There's like a weird bug movie that came out around the same time as A Bug's Life. I can't
Yeah,
remember what it is.
I've seen both of them a good amount of times. Just never really got into A Bug's Life.
Yeah, I guess C. I feel bad. None of these movies are bad.
Yeah. Oh, we're making a tier list though. We have to put it within this bubble.
Exactly. That came out in November of 1998.
Okay.
Then moving on to 1999, November 24th to be precise. Which one do you think it is?
Which one do I think it is? 1999, you said?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Toy Story 2.
You're right.
Yay!
Toy Story 2.
This is S tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is the best Toy Story film.
Introduced a new colorful cast,
Yep.
which were all great.
Jesse, great addition.
Like
to the cast.
they're great
Bullseye.
villain.
Oh yeah, the old can't remember his name now.
Yeah, the guy with the pickaxe.
Yeah.
He was great. Even though we can't name him. That's because we're old.
Listen, dude.
But yeah, Toy Story 2. These two films,
Stinky Pete.
Toy Story 1 and 2, are definitely films as a kid that I watched a ton of.
Mm-hmm.
Like a ton of. I feel like the next film is, if I'm to guess, I would say Monsters Inc. is probably the next one.
You're on a roll. 2 years later, November 2nd, 2001, Monsters Inc. comes out.
I think strong A tier.
A tier. Yeah.
I think it was a really fun film.
Great
looks
voice
good.
casting. I think the animation also still holds up, more or less.
And another thing about this film is it had an ending that was cliffhangery, and people wanted more. It left people always with the desire. They wanted more Monsters
you know what?
Inc.
We didn't. We got a freaking prequel 12 years later.
It's got kind of like the ultimate troll.
Yeah, literally.
But very solid film. Great. I remember always doing the voice impressions of the slug secretary lady.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Mike
doing,
Wazowski. Yeah. I thought, the villain at the end being the guy who's like in charge of Monsters Inc. Like, I think the plot is actually pretty solid.
very solid. And you're like so baited because like obviously the little chameleon guy is like super
Randall,
bad.
Yeah.
And it's like bait. It's bait. It's so obviously like, yeah, he's bad. And yeah, he is. He's obviously not good.
Roz is also good too. Like, that's the Mike Wazowski and how she's in charge of everything. You
Yep.
know, and there's obviously like hidden Easter eggs too. Boo is really fun. Like, to me, that door is
The character
still-
designs too of a lot of the monsters.
Oh, great. They did the prequel in 2013. Now there is a TV show that's on Disney Plus as well. That one is a little weird because there is like an alien that is similar to Mike Wazowski, but he's like bluish purple, and he's voiced by Gabriel Iglesias. I'm pretty sure. Very random.
Very random.
I cannot remember, but it's also got the another dude who's in the show. The main character is voiced by the guy who did Jonah in Superstore.
Okay, yeah.
He's a main actor. I think it's called Monsters at Work or something like that. But moving on from Monsters Inc. for now, May 30th, 2003.
This one tough. I'm between two. I'm between The Incredibles and Finding Nemo.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
I'm gonna go with The Incredibles came first. Finding Nemo came first. Oh, this is tough.
I'm going to say S tier.
I'm just looking at what's left too, and it only gets harder.
It does. The reason why I say S tier is because, in my opinion, of all the movies that are on this list that are after 2010, this one is probably the most quotable.
Ellen's fallen off a bit of public opinion, but at the time, this was like
Amazing.
this was like peak of her power.
Yeah.
People loved her in this film too.
But I'm saying, like, in retrospect, of all the ones that are on here, this is the one that's the most quotable. And then me, fish are friends, not food. I'ma touch the butt. Like, to me, there's good moments.
Not without
obviously.
consent.
Not without consent. 2024, guys. Yeah, to me,
32 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
exactly. Like, that's super memorable. Memorable characters.
Short-term memory
My
loss.
bubbles.
Short-term memory loss.
I suffer from short-term memory loss. The clip of the little girl with the braces, like shaking the fish.
Oh yeah.
Like, to me, of all these movies, that is the one that's probably the most. Do you agree? Like,
In terms of quotable, even yeah.
like the
I
only
would
other
agree.
one I could think of for all these is like, "Honey, where is my super suit?" from Incredibles.
Where is my
Or,
super suit? Yeah,
My name
no,
is
you're right.
Mater, like Tomater without the t.
No, you're
Like,
probably
some
right.
of them have
Most
quotes,
quotable for
but-
sure, except for Wally. Wally has one.
Wally.
All right, Incredibles. A
Yeah.
solid superhero film.
Never saw the sequel. Never got around to it.
I haven't seen the sequel either. Unfortunate.
Couldn't tell you.
We'll
I
have to
think-
watch it together.
I think it'd be a great film to watch.
I don't see why it would be a bad film.
Yeah, Incredibles, great. Obviously, you know,
I like the villain too. I like the idea of
Syndrome.
it was someone who idolized. It's like the classic "don't meet your heroes,"
Yep.
but really he just caught Mr. Credible at a bad time.
Yeah.
It's
Go
like the
home,
Joker,
buddy.
just a bad day.
Just a bad. That's what changed it all.
And the Mr. Incredible changed this kid's life. He
Dang.
made his life goal to ruin his life.
Great film though.
Even when you look at like the inspiration from comics as well, like you have the whole concept of like heroes needing to hide because of a massive incident.
Yeah.
That's Civil War.
Yeah.
Like it's just instead of there being someone else fighting for the side of no, we should still be heroes. Like it's like, you know, we can't let people tell us what to be kind of thing. Mr. Incredible just kind of does it on the DL.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very good film.
Agreed.
Love the like superhero family vibe too. That's great. Obviously Jack, even though you only see his powers at the end, it's hilarious. I know that that's a primary part of the second film is like the stress of Jack.
Yeah.
Because I think the big thing for The Incredibles 2 is I think it takes place like almost directly right after.
I think so.
Where like you're going right into it and you're like, oh my gosh. But great film.
Great film. Fun fact.
I'm assuming next is probably Cars.
You're right, guys.
Oh,
We are
it's
already
so,
jumping to 2006.
so tough not to give this an S tier.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have to adjust this tier list, I think. We might need to bring something down. Toy Story 1 mid tier.
Yeah, I guess.
B, just the
Yeah. Is Cars S tier?
I can't think of anything more perfect for kids than just talking cars.
It is true, and Cars does have the best ending because it's like when they go to the movies and you see car versions
Teaches humility.
of- Dang. And
You know?
patience.
And patience. You know, like you're on top and you think you're the best, but you're not the best, and then
Wait.
and people might not know who the heck you are
Exactly.
in certain parts of the world, or even
Don't let
where-
fame go to your head, kids.
Don't let fame go to your head. And then the ending, that beautiful ending of Lightning McQueen easily could win.
Instead,
And he goes back.
decides to help
Yeah,
the old man.
finish his race.
Exactly. One last race, you know?
Shows that he learned something.
Exactly. And it's got a great thing of like, I don't know if you remember seeing it, but after the end, it might be like during the end credits or like after the end credits or whatever, they all go to the movies and it's like a drive-in, and
Yeah.
the movies are all different Pixar movies of cars.
Yes.
I just remember the Buzz Lightyear and the Toy Story one. You are a toy car, and you are a sad little station wagon. It's something like that.
And the soundtrack of Cars is
oh yeah,
S tier alone.
yeah. Life is a highway.
Exactly.
You know? And you get Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Great actor.
Can't go wrong with that.
Next film. I want to say, so this was, what was
Got
Cars?
4 left.
2006.
6.
These ones start to meld together. I want to say Wall-E. Up?
Nope.
What? Ratatouille?
Ratatouille.
Really?
2007.
They're also close, right?
I mean, it's one per year. So.
Yeah, so Ratatouille is a solid B or A tier for me. Like, if it was on B, it's like high B, and if it's A, it's like low A.
It's probably, this might be a harsh take, but this is probably the most forgettable of
It's
the
forgettable in terms
2010
of
pre's.
It doesn't really feel like as much of a Pixar film, I
Yeah.
guess. But as someone who loved cooking, like
That's fair.
someone who watched the
C or B.
Food Network for me, like I loved watching. Like, I don't know, there's just something crazy about a rat that just admired fine cuisine.
That's fair.
I just think back to the scene where he's like with his brother and he's like, try this, and he like gives him like a piece of cheese. He's like, but eat it with this, and he gives him like a nut or a fruit or something. He's like, don't you feel like the flavors together and the textures? And he's all like, nope. It's just like, I think of when you describe like a whiskey or a coffee. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, do you taste these notes or this? And
Nope.
someone who just doesn't get it, like doesn't like care about
Yeah.
coffee or anything, is just like, no, it tastes like coffee, dude.
Cobb's coffee.
It's just like, that seems like, it's so relatable, I guess, because someone who's
Yeah.
passionate about cooking would be like, oh, the textures
This
and,
that, and the flavor
you
notes
know,
and the aroma.
the technique that
how
went
it
into
sits in
this.
your mouth.
Do you feel that the acidic note on the back?
Yep.
And they're just like, nah, it's food.
Ah, man, that's
food.
food. That's coffee.
I love it.
After Ratatouille, June 27, 2008.
Wall-E.
Wall-E.
Wall-E is just our world, honestly. It's a good
Dang.
film. I'm gonna say B. It's
Full transparency. I've only seen clips. I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen Wall-E.
Never
Okay.
seen Wall-E.
Definitely very solid film. Obviously the concept is we all leave, humanity leaves Earth because it's just garbage, and there's a bunch of Wall-E robots cleaning up Earth.
Yep.
And this Wall-E is, I don't remember if he's not so much defective, but all the other ones are broken, like
Okay.
no longer functioning, and he's just still looking around for signs of life or cleaning up garbage. Like he puts garbage into his little compactor that is his body, and he makes a cube, and he ends up finding like life on Earth, which means it's inhabitable again, and people
Gotcha,
can come
yeah.
down, and there's like a love story between him and the new fancy robot.
Also, for those who are watching, the reason why Connor and I keep looking off to the side is
We're not looking; they can't see it. It's brilliant. They can't even see that we're not looking. Well, they'll see
Wow.
soon after the tier list is done. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we're looking off to the side. If you ever do see us looking at the side, we do have a monitor
yeah.
with us on
Share
it.
monitor.
Um,
Anyway, so
That means up is
to-
next.
Up is next. Heartthrob. First heartthrob. No, heartbroken. First couple minutes, very sad. Just a B.
I think it's an A.
You think it's an A?
I think it's got some really good like lessons in it.
That's fair. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like in terms of a lot to be fair, obviously Disney films, Pixar films in general, there's always like other lessons to be told. But Up is just a very beautiful story. We start off seeing a grumpy old man, but we also see how he got to that point.
Yeah, you feel fun right off the bat, and then this little dang kid.
And you're never too old to go on an adventure.
It's true.
Never too old to go on an adventure.
You can't forget about the dog too.
No, can't forget about the dog.
Doug. Squirrel.
Toy Story 3. Very good film. Very solid film. Never thought I would potentially almost cry from toys.
Yeah. Still B.
Like
Like an A minus.
Maybe we need to let's do. Sorry. Rough.
Yeah.
For those audio listeners, I'm currently adjusting
Moving some
the
stuff
tier list a
around
bit.
here.
I'm gonna bring Wall-E down a notch as well.
I'm okay with the way it's sitting right now.
Okay. So as it stands, in D,
Bug's Life.
Bug's Life. In the bubble of Pixar films,
Yeah.
predated 2010.
Yeah.
And then we got in C, we got Wall-E and Ratatouille.
Yep. B is Toy Story and Toy Story 3.
A tier, we've got Up, The Incredibles, and Monsters Inc.
And S tier, we got Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, Cars 3.
Cars 1.
Sorry, Cars 1, not Cars 3. Gosh,
Cars
sorry.
3. Cars 3. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm sorry.
Honorable
So
mentions go out to Inside Out. I think that of the list of the other ones, I think that is an incredibly good film.
Inside Out's
I'm
very
Very excited for the second one,
one
for sure.
Maybe we'll talk about that. We probably will talk about that on the podcast.
Finding Dory was meh. It was meh.
Coco's got a great soundtrack.
Coco's
Love
got a
Coco for
great
music.
soundtrack. Brave was a
Story's
very
kinda-
cool looking film, but
Yeah.
maybe it was like very mid. I know Red takes
Turning
place
Red.
very close to us.
Toronto, yeah. Really cool. A lot of Easter eggs if you're Canadian, especially from Ontario. Story's pretty fun. After for the movies that are post 2010, this is like people always judge me when I say that this is my favorite Pixar movie.
They
But The
judge
Good
you
Dinosaur.
because you're wrong. That's why they judge you.
They're wrong about my favorite Disney Pixar.
That's right. They're wrong because you're wrong because you don't know what you need to know yourself.
Thanks, man. Words with this.
Yeah. What do you like about The Good Dinosaur?
I think the story's fun. I think the animation is really great. I think it's a movie that just kind of flew under the radar that not a lot of people have seen. It's a sad movie. It's kind of predictable, obviously, but it's a good prehistoric style movie. I mean, this is like, I don't want to compare it to Land Before Time because that's not correct.
Right, fair. You shouldn't compare it to Land Before Time.
Nothing should be compared to Land Before Time. But
You have to compare it to like 15 films.
and a TV show. But yeah, I don't know. Good Dinosaur's definitely one of my favorites.
Hey, fair enough. Yeah, big shout out to the. I mean, I was shocked to see how many films they have.
Yeah. Monsters University is a fun movie too. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I've seen clips. Looks fun. Obviously, I've seen the meme a lot of the one kid who like does the lasso to Sully to bring him in to dance with him. I've seen that meme everywhere. But yeah, I think of these, honestly, if I was to pick now, I think Inside Out would be up in S tier for
Yep.
me. But I think I would still strongly go to those. Like if I was to be like, oh, Connor, pick any Pixar film to watch. I'm probably picking Cars or Finding Nemo, honestly. Toy Story 2 has a lot of nostalgia drive.
Yeah.
But in terms of these two can just hold their own. Like, forget about even the sequels. Like, you don't even need just Cars, Finding Nemo, all in one story, done.
Easy peasy.
And Inside Out, I do really much enjoy.
In all honesty, I've seen Finding Dory. I saw it in theaters when it came out. I don't remember it.
I've seen it as well, and it's just very
I don't remember a single thing that happens in that movie other than the beginning where Dory's like really small and her eyes are huge.
She is cute.
But that's the only
A
thing
very
I
cute
remember.
fish.
Exactly.
Back to us.
Back to us. Upcoming movies that are coming out in Pixar is obviously Inside Out 2. That comes out in a month from when we're recording.
Very excited for that.
Then we have a new one called Elio. That one comes out in 2025. This one has been foreshadowed. But this is a sci-fi-esque style one. Don't know too much about it. And then the other ones that are coming out is Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 5. Yeah, so I guess that was the Pixar tier list. Let's dive into perhaps some of my favorite films growing up. So we're gonna try and keep this also pre-2010 if possible. We'll start off with, I think the easiest one for me is The Lion King.
Yep.
There's literally like home videos of me and this is, don't want to date myself, but the times of VHS where my parents would have to physically take out the VHS, rewind it, and put it back in because I would constantly say like again to like some of the songs in The Lion King, and you would just see them take it out, rewind, put it back in, and there's literally like I said, there's a home video for like half an hour of me doing that. Not even watching the movie through, just the song is done, and it's like again, do it again. So it's hard to say that isn't probably my all-time favorite animated Disney film.
That's fair. For nostalgia in that regard, I'm gonna do Lion King 1.5.
Lion King 1.5 is fun.
It's a
very
fun movie. It's just
I can see adults being like, this is dumb.
Yeah,
But
as a
kids
kid, that
love
is
it, and you see more
hysterical.
Timon, more Pumbaa. People love Timon
Dig
and
a
Pumbaa.
tunnel, dig a tunnel.
So I think it's a fun film too. It
was
could probably
fun.
have done without the fourth wall breaking of like them watching the film.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably takes away. Would have just been fine as like a Timon and Pumbaa kind of story, like
Yeah,
how
but
they
well,
played.
because the point of Lion King 1.5 is because the first Lion King is Hamlet, right?
Yes.
Lion King 1.5 is based on I don't want to call it a meme play, but it's Guildenstern Rosencrantz. It's a play out there that is the Hamlet from their points of view, basically. You're just watching everything unfold. So I understand the way they did it and why. But yeah, freaking
We watched a lot of The Rescuers as well.
Rescue is down under.
could not tell you the plots of those films. I remember there's a crocodile.
I know the mice. I know what they look like.
Yeah, but
in
I
my head,
cannot tell you.
but-
But I asked my parents before we recorded this episode, and I was like, "What movies do you remember us watching a lot when me and my brothers were kids?" And they're like, "Lion King." That's like I said, first thing that came to their mind. It's engraved in their mind and soul. But yeah, Rescuers Down Under was a big one.
There's a lot of like mouse.
We watched a lot of the Little Mermaid too.
Little Mermaid.
Not two, just the
Yeah,
Little Mermaid.
as well.
We also did watch Little Mermaid too, but
It's not as good as the
But
first one, obviously.
we on repeat a lot
Yeah.
of the Little Mermaid, which is more of a sign of like roughly when I was born and what was out, and modern, I guess, more modern.
yeah.
Yeah,
Two-
those songs slap though from
Oh.
both those films,
Oh,
Little
yeah.
Mermaid and Lion King.
100%. Staying away from musical-esque Disney movies, I have two favorites. Well, actually,
Tarzan and Brother Bear.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess both those are kind of musicals.
They're not really music. Well, I
But,
guess
yeah,
they
they're-
just have banger music.
Exactly. They have banger Phil Collins songs.
Yeah, well, you can't forget those.
Exactly.
And Brother Bear is an indigenous film.
Exactly. And or brother Tarzan's not the one of the twos I was thinking of. Brother Bear, obviously, hands down, in my top 3 favorite Disney movies of all time. Soundtrack's great, animation's fun, underrated. You got the two mooses, great characters. One of which is voiced by Joaquin Phoenix,
Joaquin Phoenix.
who's he's kind of big in Hollywood right now, doing the Joker and stuff. He's the Joker, baby.
He's the Joker, baby.
But the other movie that I like, that's Disney animated, that came out in 2007. Can you guess it?
Disney film came out in 2007.
Animated.
Animated.
Music done by Danny Elfman.
I'm not sure.
Box office. Budget was 150 million. Box office was 170.5 million.
Well, it did very well.
I mean, it broke, that's for sure.
It did very well.
We've talked about it on the podcast before because it's based off a book series. A book.
It's based off a book.
Yeah. Written by the dude that created Half Our Childhood.
Walt Disney?
The other guy.
Just say who it is, Matt.
Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the Robinsons.
Robinsons. Great movie. Love tech, a little bit of time travel. I think maybe this is the root of my time travel obsession.
It all started there.
It all started in this movie. What is going on your laptop, sir?
There's a lot going on, brother. Just trying to think what else.
I mean, a great movie for me, and this goes without saying, is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
Yeah. Never seen it. Does that hurt you a bit?
It does a little bit. Who's your favorite Disney princess? Like, favorite Disney princess movie? Doesn't matter when.
Oh, it
You
doesn't
can
matter.
say-
When.
You can say Frozen if you want. You can say Encanto, Moana.
Well, Ariel's high up
Yeah.
for favorite princess, but yeah, it's probably between the Little Mermaid and Frozen. Frozen 1.
Also, Anna.
Anna.
Yeah. That was the right answer.
How could it be the right answer if it's my opinion, Matthew?
Listen, okay, you want to have these rules? Let's have these rules.
Yeah, I think Anna is fantastic.
Anna's better than Elsa. Hot take.
It's a hot take.
But
Let
am
us
I
know.
wrong?
Let us know.
Are you Elsa or
Are
Anna?
we wrong or are we right?
We're right. That's all that matters. Tangled for me. Great movie. Great soundtrack.
I do really enjoy the Tangled songs.
You got Zachary Levi as Eugene Flynn Rider. That's fun too.
Eugene Rider. I mean, it was kind of crazy to think like it took that long to get a
Rapunzel movie.
A Rapunzel movie. Sorry, the actual like story that it's based off of.
What are you talking about? Rapunzel was only written in 1812.
Oh, fair. That's valid. Actually, you're right. What were they waiting
Gosh,
for?
dude. It's not like The Little Mermaid was written around the same time by the same dudes.
Yeah. What other? I mean, the thing is, there's tons of Disney films. Like we said, we were looking, and like there's films like we totally forgot existed.
Could not be doing a tier list of Disney films. There's way too much.
So let's dive into a couple other things while we're still here. Let's is there any just live, maybe perhaps some Disney live action films or live action films you watched in general? A lot of
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, we watched a tons of Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my mom's favorite films. And obviously all the kids loved it as well. Harry Potter, not Disney, but
Yeah. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, obviously not Disney, but I watched
Star
a lot
Wars.
of that. Star Wars, obviously.
obviously Disney.
Obviously now Disney. Was not Disney when we watched it.
Actually. Puts up glasses.
Actually,
It's
that is a Disney property.
Back to the Future we actually watched a good amount of
Really?
when we were younger. Watched it a few times. Indiana Jones, the original trilogy. Obviously not. They were old films then.
Ever watch like the Cinderella story? Like Lindsay McGuire, Agent Cody Banks.
Agent Cody Banks for sure.
Catch That Kid.
Catch That Kid. Yes. Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. Great trilogy.
3D.
Don't count the fourth
Blue and
one.
red glasses.
Ah, yes. Spy Kids 3D.
Some of you won't even know what that is like. 3D
Yeah.
glasses when they were red and blue.
But the best one of the trilogy is the second one. The Island of like Lost Dreams one, where they all go. And
But
it's like the weird animal hybrids.
He's the guy.
No one cares that Elijah Wood was the guy, even though
He's
he wasn't
the guy. And then he gets like
gets
KO'd or
it's
whatever.
the guy,
He's
and
like,
just-
okay, you're the guy again.
And then boom, dead.
Is that actor's the one who's with Meghan Trainor, the one kid from Spy Kids?
Oh
right?
yeah, the main kid. Yeah. He is married to Meghan Trainor, and they have like 2 or 3 kids.
That's wild.
Insane.
That's great.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah.
They did make
The Rise of Taylor Lautner.
The Rise of Taylor Lautner.
He was also in Cheap Brother Dozen.
Two Brothers and 2,
Sorry.
and Grown Ups
Right,
2.
the other family. The other family. Yeah.
There we go. We Can Be Heroes.
We can. Who, us?
So, no,
Oh,
this was a movie that came out in 2020.
that's pretty new.
I know. But the reason why I bring it because it is in the same universe as Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and it's a sequel to it. But Pedro Pascal is in it.
What?
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
That guy's in everything.
Nowadays, yeah, he really is. Bridge to Terabithia.
Yes. I actually, I'm not,
Oh,
we've
that's
mentioned it,
cool.
not a big reader,
Mhm.
but as a kid, read that book before the movie came out.
Dang, is that because of school though?
No. Well, kind of. It was not a book we read in school. There was like a set period of time where like like a cool down period where the teacher would read like a chapter or two of Bridge to Terabithia before,
That makes sense.
and then that's how I know the story. Very sad story.
Oh yeah, great book,
Tragic.
though. The Narnia movies.
Narnia movies, yep. I remember doing an essay in like grade 7 on the Narnia movies compared to the Bible.
That is true. It
I did go to a Catholic school.
is
I
a
should say that.
anthology. That's not the right word.
It's heavily based on them.
Yeah,
Like, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's
Influenced.
Takes a lot of themes and direct retelling of stuff that happens within the Bible, but with its own characters. So there was like you had to like take examples. So obviously a big example is the death of the lion and then the return.
Mm-hmm. One that
for those who aren't unaware of Catholicism and Christianity, Jesus dies and then he comes back.
Something that we have been talking about Disney for the last like 10, 15 minutes specifically from our childhood, and there's something we have not mentioned yet, a trilogy of movies.
Flubber.
A trilogy of movies. Disney original movies.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
A trilogy of movies that you and I have belted out songs from.
Indiana Jones. My favorite Indiana Jones song is Gunshots.
We're all in
the
this
whip.
Together?
Oh, the High School Musical.
The High School Musicals. How have we not mentioned the High School Musicals?
Those are a lot older than I thought they were.
Oh, yeah. I don't like reminding myself.
I went back and rewatched 1 and 2.
Do they hold up?
No, not really.
Nostalgia-wise.
No, not really.
No.
Yeah. Songs are still bangers, though.
Oh, yeah.
But some like more niche films, you guys will have to let us know in the comments below if you've seen any of these films. So as a kid growing up, as a 90s kid, me and my brothers used to watch a lot of Alaska.
Yeah.
Which is like about kids like looking for their father, I'm pretty sure, or something. Like their dad gets in a small plane crash, and they like travel Alaska with like a polar bear as like their friend, and they look for their dad and save their dad. At least I'm going off of memory here, but I'm pretty sure that's what ends up happening.
Sounds familiar.
That came out in 1996.
Okay.
We've got The Great Panda Adventure. Could not even tell you the plot of this film at all. When I see the movie poster, I see the VHS case. Fly Away Home. I do remember the plot of this film. This has Anna Paquin or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Anna Paquin.
Yep. Who is Rogue.
Yep.
In the X-Men films. That's how I remember her. She's also in True Blood, I believe, HBO show. But Fly Away Home is this girl who finds eggs, and the eggs are geese, and I don't even know the device she uses to fly, but she basically is the mother goose, and she teaches her geese how to fly.
Interesting.
And go south.
You lost me.
You've never seen it?
No.
Came out in 1996. Here, I'll read. Okay, so I'll read the plot. It's possible I'm missing a few things in there. After Amy loses her mother in a car accident, she must uproot her life and move to Canada. RIP. To live with her father, Thomas, an oddball inventor with whom she has no relationship. She initially struggles to find her place in her new home. See this? I knew her mom died. Totally didn't realize didn't know her dad at all. She initially struggles to find her place in her new home, but things change when she stumbles upon a collection of abandoned goose eggs. When the eggs hatch, Amy and her dad work together, teaching the motherless birds to fly south for the winter, and their relationship blooms.
Wow.
Yeah, that one's definitely the what, sir? It's got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dang, okay.
So it's pretty good, you know.
That's not bad.
Free Willy. I feel like a lot of people know Free Willy.
Free Willy.
Especially kids that grew up close to a water aquarium that people may or may not have strong opinions about, which is Marineland. Happen to have killer whales and belugas and seals Never really been to. I think I've been to Marineland like twice in my life.
It's 2 more than I have, and it's reopening this year, but it has nothing.
But yeah, just watching this, it just felt even more relatable since we had that close by.
Yeah.
We're like, and you, as a kid, that definitely, I feel like that probably has a lot of impact on why Marineland not doing so well. A lot of people have probably seen Free Willy and are like, you evil.
You evil.
You evil. Last one, another sea creature, Andre the Seal.
Don't know this one either.
Never, no?
No.
Could not tell you the plot of Andre the Seal, except for there's a seal named Andre.
What a twist.
Yeah, it has storyline. Here we go. Tony Whitney and her family adopt a baby seal named Andre. Well, see, we're starting off strong.
Fantastic.
When he grows up and starts getting into mischief, he antagonizes some of the fishermen in town. One of them, Billy Baker, is upset with the Whitneys because Tony's father, Harry, was appointed harbor master instead of him, partially because of Andre. But when Andre's humorous antics attracts media attention, further squeezing out Billy and running down his business, he gets even more upset.
Oh, no.
It's an adventure drama family film.
Before we wrap up, I'll mention just one of the movies from my childhood that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Or have seen.
That don't want to talk
Well,
about?
it's not, I don't know. A lot of people saw Sky High.
You mean My Hero Academia before My Hero Academia?
Exactly. My Hero Academia before My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Another one was
Great
Zoom.
film, though.
Oh, yeah.
In
Sky
it-
High is a
yeah.
great film. Great film.
Can't convince us otherwise.
I know. Another superhero film that came out around the same time, maybe within a couple of years, was Zoom, starring Tim Allen. He was like part of like a superhero team when he was younger, and then he like something happened to his brother, and then he gave up being a hero, and it's like the next generation of hero because his brother's coming back, and his brother's like the big villain
Okay.
kind of thing, and it's just Tim Allen being a really old dude, and he has like he has super speed, but he's so old that he can barely use it kind of thing.
Does
He's
he
like,
have
so out
a
of shape.
super suit?
He does eventually have a super suit. But Courtney Cox is in it. Chevy Chase is in it.
Okay.
It's a weird cast. But
Fair enough.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. But anyways, we could probably wrap up.
Any other films?
Zoom is the one that comes to mind the most. That's really it. That's all I can really think of.
Other than I guess another big one is obviously like we mentioned, Land Before Time.
Land Before Time is obviously big. The Underdog, the weird live action based on like the it's like an old comic strip and stuff like that.
Okay.
Another movie, actually, I remember watching this in elementary school. It was called Everyone's Hero. It's an animated baseball film, and the bat can talk, and it's like Babe Ruth's bat, if I remember correctly.
Oh, have you ever seen the one, the Michael Jordan one, where the kid finds Michael Jordan's like shoes that are on a wire, and he
Like
puts,
Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, Space Jam.
Space Jam. How can we
Space
forget
Jam.
Space Jam?
Great film. Everyday's Hero. Yes, 2006. It takes place during the Great Depression. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's actually, yeah. Thief disguised security guard steal Babe Ruth lucky bat. Yeah. It's a weird, but it's a good one. It's a wholesome film. I mean, yeah, honestly, that's, yeah. Space Jam, Everyday Hero, some good ones.
Nice. So yeah. I mean, there's so many films. It's hard to go through all of them. And then as we've looked up stuff and gone through lists, we've seen and films that we've even forgotten about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But let us know for sure in the comment section down below in the YouTube video, or just hop in that link tree and you'll see our Discord. You can join right in and drop a comment on the recent podcast discussion and let us know what films we missed, or if you are of the younger generation, let us know what's the
dealio?
yeah, like what's the new, oh, this is the underground movie no one sees,
Yeah.
but I watched a lot of as a kid. Maybe we've seen it. Maybe we just don't consider it a grown-up film because we are already old, unfortunately. But yeah, other than that, glad you guys are listening. The podcast is available on all major podcast platforms. If you're watching here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. It helps the video out and helps us out as well. So please do that. And other than that, we will see you guys next week for another...
It's the Anime of the Month episode next week.
So I'm going to be watching a lot of anime this next week.
So prepare for that if you guys want to watch Flying Witch.
Flying Witch. That's the anime this month. We already have the next anime picked. We'll let you guys know next week.
Unless you're already in the Discord, then you already know.
Then you already know.
But
until then,
we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.